So we just buying baby mamas Benzes. Oh, okay. Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And we are back for another reaction video to Married at First Sight. I hope y'all guys been watching. I hope. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it real 100 with y'all. The Paige and Chris situation getting on my nerves. And if it wasn't for Vincent and Brianna, I feel like I would have been checked out of the season because I've had enough. Just saying. So let's go ahead and start with the synopsis of the episode. So on this episode, Dr. Viviana has been meeting with the couples, definitely trying to get some insight of what is going on in the relationship and providing pretty much coaching as she can. First of all, can we get into the slayage of Dr. Viviana? She is always in here for the slay. I was here for that velvet lavender dress with them nude shoes. I said, come on, Viviana. Always slaying. I was watching her sometimes more than them. So, we're going to go ahead and start with Jake and Haley. So, y'all, she don't like him. She really don't. She don't. I don't know if it's ever going to get better, but y'all, I've been saying that she don't like him. And I don't know if she's ever going to be able to. She's trying, but I don't know. But I found it very interesting that Jake mentioned that he's always been the side piece. And, well, no, he didn't mention it. I think I was listening. I do, sorry, y'all. I do listen to a podcast where they also break down Married at First Sight. And I think there was somewhere that Jake mentioned was always the side one. So he's never been the main. And we all know the side piece, there is no, at first, is really no emotion to it. It's all about physical attraction. So when you used to be in the side piece, it do make you feel a way that your wife don't like you physically. What you mean? As a side piece, that's what you are. Here for all the physical. So yeah. So, with that being said, it's probably why he's having an issue with Haley not being attracted to him. And he's really like, if there's no attraction, then why are we even here? And honestly, I feel like in real life, if there's not some sort of attraction somewhere, and maybe not always, I don't know, they gotta at least be kind of cute for me. Call me shabby. Call me whatever. But you need to have something that made me say, ooh. Because your personality alone, if you just some stranger, would not make me want to talk to you just because your personality was nice. Moving on. I did kind of feel bad for her a little bit because you can see that she's wanting to try. And she actually got emotional talking to Viviana because she said she's used to connecting with people and it's just not working. Viviana did bring up a point of, saying that, attraction and connection begins the moment that you wake up. And I found that very interesting. So I definitely took that away from her session with them. And I feel like even if you are in a relationship, and you feel like things have kind of trickled down, I feel like that's a good exercise to kind of try. If you feel like the spark ain't there, that maybe, start each day with a kiss and end each day with a kiss type situation. I thought that was very helpful. And definitely with that mindset that connection starts from the minute that you wake up. So yeah, so we'll see how they progress with that. Yeah, next, let's see, we will go to Brianna and Vincent. I thought it was so adorable when pretty much Viviana caught on right then that Vincent is trying to be smooth and all of that. He's trying to charm his wife. And when he makes a mistake or he's not perfect, it does not sit well with him. And that That's the truth. When you're really trying to impress your other half, you don't want to be looking foolish. So I feel them. But it was so sweet when Brianna was like, you don't have to try so hard. I like you for who you are, and you don't have to try so hard. Because I can honestly relate to that. That although I've been with my husband for 8 years, and something about as soon as we got married, I turned to trying to be this perfect wife, perfect at everything, and I'm just trying to be the one that he'd be like, oh, my wife is bomb, and y'all, if you want a hot mess, the first week, I screwed up a pot of spaghetti. How you mess up a pot of spaghetti? Don't come for me. But angel noodles ain't meant to be in spaghetti. I was trying to be fancy. And when he had to say to me, babe, you don't have to try so hard. I'm here. I didn't change. I'm here. You don't have to try so. It meant so much to me because sometimes when you go from being girlfriend to fiance to wife, you all the way up here feeling like, oh, I got to be doing and which you do. So don't get it twisted. You can't be doing the bare minimum and think that your husband is, and keep your husband's attention. He's supposed to be here, but you at least got to be putting forth some effort. Let's just be clear. But I was doing more. I was going above and beyond, and I was doing too much. And it was a lot of pressure on me. And I was having whole breakdowns some days, and he was like, it's me. I didn't change. I know you didn't change, but my title changed. And so I felt like I had to be all up here. And so it is refreshing to hear your spouse say, you don't have to try so hard. Thank you. They're so super duper cute. I love the game they played. I love their humor. I love every bit of it. I love them. They are too cute together. They're my favorite couple, if you can't tell. We will go to Clara and Ryan. I love their relationship. You can tell that they can talk about a lot of things, and that it looks like it's not a forceful thing. And so the issue with them is that Ryan definitely looks like he's not a person that likes to just stick anything with legs. And Clara, not saying she'll do anything with legs, but sex is big on her radar, where he wants a true connection. Now, I did find it a little, I could see where the frustration could be that when asked, what's the percentages, doing a kind of temperature check on, where are we at now? Because, for a lot of women, or even men, that when you're trying to get to a goal, to kind of get to the next level, you do kind of want to know, like, well, okay, how are we progressing? And he changed the scenery, camera was about to die. But I don't have that all day to be trying to film a video. So here we go. Hope you guys can hear me good, but yeah. So I can definitely see from Clara's point of view that when you're just trying to get a temperature check, you're trying to figure out, are we progressing? And you say you'll know when you know, but how do you know? How do you know you're not there? And I mean, granted, I will say that this is it is a accelerated process. And so to him, he's saying it's only been 3 weeks. And for her, she's like, but we don't have that many more weeks left. And so for her, I do wonder that if they are not physical, if she would not stay in the marriage because they haven't been physical. It was sad when she said she's never had an emotion linked to being sexual with someone, and she's been in a relationship. But in the same thing, I feel like I can kind of see what she's saying. But I will say, like, even when I've been in a long-term relationship, I did feel something different. There is a different feeling than just doing it. But I can say that being in a very more serious relationship, it is a whole different amount of feelings. You probably end up thinking, oh, what I felt before ain't nothing compared to this. I do feel that once you're in a more serious relationship, and even when you become married, I feel like things changed for me, because I knew then that in marriage, to me, that I could pull a lot of my guard down, because of the simple fact that I know that you are here for me. I mean, granted, still, I mean, we all know that any given time that anybody can decide they don't want to be here anymore, but the fact that we are legally together, you are legally my husband, in front of God, and things of that sort, that I could put my trust in you, that you're not going to leave me, and that you're going to work through whatever issues that we have, and that I could let a lot of my guards down and trust more, which in turn translates in the bedroom, in my opinion. Just having that, being able to trust that you are mine, and I don't have to worry about if someone else has you. Granted, men do cheat, but I mean, I'm going to have to take it at base value, that you haven't done this to me thus far, and I don't feel that you would wait until in our marriage to do that. So, yeah. So, I feel like if she lets her guard down, or really just embraces the situation, I feel like she would be able to feel the emotion that comes with sex in a relationship or a marriage, versus it just being about the sex. Just saying. But I also can definitely say that you could tell that Ryan is not comfortable talking about it. And I can definitely attest to that. There are a lot of men who don't like to talk about it. That don't mean they can't do it. They just don't want to talk about it. And for someone who definitely doesn't mind talking about it, and it can be a little frustrating, but I feel like they will be okay as long as they're able to at least communicate what they do and don't like, and what they do and don't need. At least if you can have those conversations, I think you'll be fine, even if the other person doesn't like to talk about it like that. But you just at least need to be able to communicate. I don't like that. Don't do that no more. Can you do this differently? Can you do that? If you can talk about what needs to be talked about, so that we can so that everybody can have a good time, I think we're gonna be all right. So now we're gonna get into Paige and Chris, per usual, the last. So here they go with this reset again. I feel like Viviana did very well not being petty and, really coming for him type situation. I can really appreciate Paige being like, no, we really need to go all the way down to ground zero. Like, phone calls, texts, things of that sort. But what was real darn confusing is when this man is like, no, I want to meet up. I want to hang. I want to do this. And she's like, she's not ready for that. To me, what that read is, you want to be in person so you can hit them cheeks whenever. Bruh. He is very confusing. He will say one thing and do another. He's very confusing. Very confusing. I don't know that I would have the patience, y'all. I'm going to just keep it real 100. I wouldn't have the patience. She a good one. I don't have the time. I don't. So, yeah. So, Paige ends up taking the lead and scheduling out, what this means for them to be trying to do things, trying to meet up. I did think it was cute when, she was compromising and he was talking about playing basketball and she said she didn't know how to play and he was like, he would teach her. I do think that's really cute when a person, if that's not their interest or they don't know how to do it, that they are willing to learn or participate. I think that is really good. I couldn't deal with him not wanting to play board games though. I mean, she gonna play whole basketball with you, but you can't play no board games. Okay. He did end up bringing food over. So they were talking about he wanted to do Bible study. Now, I do believe that God needs to be in the relationship, and that and putting God in the relationship could definitely help. But again, I go back to saying that God did create marriage. But again, like I told y'all last week, the God I serve wouldn't let me keep being put up with this mess now. It's the difference if you... I guess, even in just saying that, I guess I could kind of see, because marriage is serious and marriage is sacred, and, You're supposed to fight for your marriage. But this happened on day one of your marriage, so I don't know. I'm torn. If somebody who had been married for a while and it was like your normal marriage, I would support you if you wanted to leave, and I would support you if you wanted to stay and work on it. I'll just put that there. In her situation, I just feel like it wasn't a fair try, and I get her. I commend her for wanting to try, but he playing too much. So we shall see. But he wouldn't have, your husband, the husband of God will bring you, wouldn't have been full of this crap. If he was this ratchet, ain't hitting on nothing person, he would have got that out of his system before he became your husband. I'm just saying. That's the way my God works. I'm not sure about anybody else's, but okay. Anyway, so also with the Bible study thing, I feel like too, and I could just be reading into this a little more than I need to, but I definitely feel like for someone who is in church and someone, he definitely knows beautiful things to say at the right time, because I feel like someone who she's very easily swayed with words, that saying let's do Bible study definitely warmed her body up. You know what I'm saying? Warmed her up. Okay, we're, you know, we have the interest of God, and you know, maybe this will work. So I definitely feel that because he knows what to say, when to say it, that definitely is a good way to kind of like get a woman to be like, oh, maybe he has changed. So then we pull up to the day that they come and they're supposed to meet together, and he brings the food, and they're supposed to be, he don't even want to say grace. He don't want to pray. But y'all both God-fearing though. So y'all both do pray. So I don't understand why you don't want to pray. But okay, cool. She prays. Alright. So then she also has to lead Bible study. So you don't want to contribute anything. You just showed up. Interesting. Okay. I really hope it works, you guys. I guess they try. I mean, they trying. But yeah, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Oh, I forgot about Eric and Virginia. How can I forget about them? So they meet. So Eric is becoming something else. He's really changing for me as the season goes on. He is kind of being a little bit hard to get along with, and it does seem to be like he's kind of almost draining Virginia a little bit. I didn't see it at first until they mentioned it on the podcast, but I can kind of see it. He really is gung-ho not liking her texting other men type situation. And so either she's going to have to deal with that, or this might not be the thing for her. Because he is really gung-ho about that. But when they meet with Dr. Viviana, you know, they're talking about, they don't really talk about their issues like that. And I can get it. Whenever you're pressed for time, you don't have a lot of time together, you kind of do want to be in the moment instead of, you know, arguing. And that could be, that's not always good, because at the end of the day, these problems are still waiting for you when you do decide to discuss them. So they're talking about how they have their differences, and he says he's okay if she doesn't agree, but she's not okay with it type situation. So pretty much I feel like they were beating around the bush into what the real issue was. And so then they got on the subject about children. And so he's all like, well, if she don't want children, then I'm done. And so that's where I come to the conclusion with just seeing that I really feel like it's very important that when you want to be married, that you guys talk about these type things. You talk about, you know, your goals. You talk about your beliefs, your religion, and you talk about children. Because I definitely think that if you're both not on the same page as far as children go, I do definitely think it can make or break your relationship. And sometimes a little bit more than religion sometimes. Because most people, unfortunately, will kind of be because some people, when it comes to relationships, religion, they all kind of like, you know, make it do what it do. But when it comes to children, if you have one person who deliberately does not want children at all and the other one does, it can almost be a burden sometimes. And you can kind of see him when he's like, if she doesn't want children, then I'm done. But at least he enunciated that. I feel like sometimes if you get into that relationship, if they were to get into a relationship and doesn't have a clear understanding, which we'll get into where she kind of discussed of why she doesn't want to, but you could either, because that means you pretty much have to do what the other one wants to do, because you can't want kids and the other one doesn't, and they're anti it and kind of force it. You can't like make a baby on purpose because they'll be angry with you. Or if it's the woman who doesn't want the child, it's like, if you get her pregnant, is she going to be angry type situation. And so on both ends, it can be very resentful, because they're like, well, dang, I have to do whatever you want to do because you don't want children, and they could be resentful. Or where if you were to purposely get them pregnant on purpose or try to get pregnant on purpose, they could be resentful. So it can be real messy. So I really hope that they make it work. But it's you got to be careful with that one. But she did say she wasn't a total no. She was like, she always felt like with her husband they would talk about it, and it feels like he was not on the, oh, what you mean we could talk about it. I didn't like his response to that, because at least she wasn't an outright no, but saying that you could talk about it, I feel like doesn't mean that was an absolute no. I feel like in my relationship where my husband doesn't want to have any more children, and I could go either way, and so we're fine with that because I don't have to have any more. But if I get pregnant, okay, but it's not like, oh my god, you don't have any more children. So like I said, I could go either way, and I feel like that's why we're okay. I don't think I'm going to be resentful either way type situation. But I did love that the exercise that Viviana put in there of using the 5-minute rule, where y'all you set a timer for 5 minutes and one person talks and says how they feel and the other one listens, and then you respond and then you do it again, but you just kind of tackle one thing at a time. And I'm actually using that currently since that episode in my relationship, because I do feel like it definitely makes sure that both parties are heard and both matters are talked about and handled, and you don't feel like we're always handling one person's matter over the other. So I did like that a lot. And I did like that Virginia kind of really went more into detail about why she feels the way she feels about children. And I did appreciate Eric for actually understanding that and seeing things differently. So I'm hoping from there that they can move forward. And then based off that, maybe he can make her feel differently to where she will be okay with having children. And then maybe that this won't be always an outright no of having children on her end. And so things will be fine. So it wasn't a whole lot of drama this time, thank God. So we will just have to see how a lot of this unfolds going on. Comment down below how you felt about this episode, and we will continue to do the reaction and breakdown again. So I will see you here again, same time, same place, next week. See you guys. Love you guys. Bye.